When people talk about living and working in Dubai, there's a phrase that comes up again and again: tax-free. For decades, that's been the city's brand: glamming skyscrapers, its dazzling malls, and a promise to keep every dirham you earn. But is it really true? Is Dubai actually the tax-free paradise people believe it to be? Well, you might be surprised to learn that the answer is a lot more complicated and a lot less tax-free than you might think. Let's start with where this myth comes from. For a long time, Dubai and the United Arab Emirates as a whole did not collect personal income tax. If you got a job in Dubai, your monthly earnings weren't skimmed by the government. No 15%, no 15,000 forms to fill out. This was a huge draw for expats and global businesses looking to boost their bottom line. And for many, that remains the headline: no income tax. But beneath the surface, Dubai has been quietly building a new tax system. And it's not just for corporations or oil companies, many ordinary residents and visitors are paying more in taxes and fees than they realize. So, let us break down the main sources of revenue and the taxes that you actually encounter in Dubai in 2024. First, there's value-added tax, or VAT. In 2018, the UAE introduced VAT at 5%. It sounds small compared to VAT elsewhere, but for Dubai, it was a seismic shift. Suddenly, your monthly shopping trip, your dinner out, your electronics purchase all are 5% more expensive. VAT is built into almost every transaction in the city, from rent to phone bills to hotel stays. It may not show up as a separate line on your paycheck, but rest assured, you're paying. Then there's the corporate tax. For years, Dubai did indeed allow many companies to run tax-free, especially those in special free zones. But as of June 2023, the UAE announced a nationwide 9% corporate tax on business profits above 375,000 AED, a year about $100,000 USD. Now, a huge number of businesses, especially those dealing with local clients, will see this tax cut into their profits. The free zones still offer some exemptions. But the rules are tightening quickly, and loopholes are getting smaller each year. But that's not all. Let us talk about the hidden taxes fees that act very much like taxes, but aren't called that. Want to rent an apartment? There's a 5% housing fee added to your utility bill, which goes straight to the government. Planning to own a car? There are hefty registration and road tolls. Plus, fuel that's not as cheap as you might expect. Hotel stays. There are tourism dirham charges added for every night, sometimes up to 20 dirhams a night, depending on your accommodation. What about alcohol? If you're over 21 and want to enjoy a glass of wine, prepare to pay an alcohol tax of up to 50% on retail purchases and a 30% tax at restaurants and bars. And yes, you'll need a permit, which costs extra. If you smoke, same story, sin tax on tobacco products pushes prices up much higher than in many Western countries. For expats, there's another catch-end of service gratuities. Rather than paying into a pension scheme, employers in Dubai must provide a lump sum payment at the end of employment. On paper, it sounds like a reward. In practice, companies may set aside less than they'd owe. Employees often end up shortchanged, without the social safety nets common elsewhere. For businesses, compliance is now a growing industry of its own, with a raft of regulatory fees, license renewals, and zoning costs. Even banking has become more expensive, with annual fees creeping up in the background. So, who actually benefits from Dubai's tax-free brand? The richest multinationals, those anchored in free zones and with careful international structuring, still enjoy significant savings. High-net-worth individuals can shield certain assets, provided they keep up with complex reporting requirements. For many regular residents, however, the everyday cost of living is filled with taxes and quasi-taxes. Tourists who flock to Dubai for luxury holidays pay some of the steepest rates in hidden taxes. Tourism fees, hotel taxes, and VAT combined can easily add 20% to their bills. In summary, Dubai has remained competitive by keeping traditional income taxes off the table for now, but has replaced them with a smart web of consumption taxes, business levies, regulatory fees, and surcharges. For the average resident or visitor, tax-free Dubai feels a lot less tax-free than the brochures promise. So, Next time you hear about Dubai's glimmering tax-free promise, remember, taxes haven't disappeared. They've just found new names, new forms, and sometimes new ways to hide in plain sight.